Hello, I'm Ray Snoddy and I'm joined by Theresa Wise of T Wise Consulting to look at some of the big questions being discussed at the IBC Leadership Summit in Amsterdam. Questions such as the rise of big technological players who are coming into the television market for the first time, bidding for rights, and also what that means for the cost at the detailed level of ordinary television production. Hello, Theresa. One of the sessions is called, slightly jokingly, Will the Geeks Inherit the Earth or Not? It's just a metaphor for the big technological companies coming into the market. Why is that happening now?
Well, the really interesting about the geek side of life is the speed with which things acquire enormous value, relatively speaking, and the speed with which they appear to lose it. So there are two models really in geeks' world. So one of them is really Google. Google is its own model where it powers itself through search advertising, and search advertising works because it's a fit with what consumers are there to do. The second set of advertising is display or pre-roll, and that sort of advertising. Now, the issue with that is that if you're social media, people don't go to you to actually see corporate ads. And so actually, when you start putting ads on there, there's a bit of an intrusion. So there's a point where, despite the huge valuations of Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, that actually the advertising that you see is working rather counter to the service that you want to experience.
Apart from obviously dipping into the overall pool of advertising, do you see these technological companies really competing head-on with traditional broadcasters?
My view is that it's actually less likely that there'll be a direct challenge. So what a lot of these new big digital giants are doing is offering a new distribution channel. So as you can see, the big studios have already done deals with Facebook and YouTube to actually distribute their content. But it's not going to replace the traditional ways that people already get content, most notably the cinema if it's film, but also via TV or other forms. So it's an additional way to get content out there. It's not necessarily a direct challenge.
And yet in the UK, you see the telecoms company, or at least the telecoms company that was, BT, buying prime-time live exclusive rights for football. Why are they doing that? And couldn't these companies buy almost anything they wanted? They're so powerful.
Well, it's fascinating. The point about premium rights, it's almost in a category of its own. So where you've got people that have bid for very big rights like sports, they've often got a business model behind it. So they don't just depend on the sports channel. In the case of BT, they might be pulling behind broadband. In the case of Sky, they're pulling behind a lifetime subscription, they hope, of a customer. So it's very hard to do that if you're just a lone TV channel without an economic model behind that.
Do you think all this new money coming into the market will start to change the economics of orthodox programme production?
Well, actually, the whole way that we're producing TV is changing anyway. So you've got a case of TV production and film production. Those economics are bleeding into each other. So you've already got big TV productions which use acting talent, writing and directing talent, which you only used to see in the cinema. There's also another end of it where TV production at the other end is getting much, much cheaper. So actually you're having one-man crews who edit and film everything for much, much less than it ever used to cost, because the cost of filming and editing has gone dramatically down on the one side. So you're getting a bit of a polarizing effect.
What do you think the people who attend the Leadership Summit will actually learn about these really rather important economic changes?
I think the key thing is that even though the geeks and the over-the-top players haven't necessarily made a huge impact on traditional TV yet, they are actually messing about with the economics, and that's crucial to everyone. So rights are going up on the one hand because there are more players bidding for them, and on the other hand they do present a threat to pay TV operators, because there could be people that want to pay less per month for a service, and they've now got the opportunity to do so on connected TV service.
So the overall effect could actually be quite radical.
It could indeed. The traditional players need to think very strongly about it, and they already are.
Theresa Wise, thank you very much.